It's just really a time for Georgians to just really mark how they feel about this moment and just all of the history that goes into this. A lot of people have been talking about what they hope this current generation remembers about President Carter. Jeff, what would you say one of those things would be, or a couple of things would be for you?
Well, I think his long life, as much as anything. He has been a ubiquitous figure here in Atlanta for as long as anybody can remember. It is hard, you're hard pressed to come up with another politician or another public figure, even a great musician who has been around since the mid-1960s, ever relevant, ever significant to the community in which he lives. And Jimmy Carter has been that way. It is virtually impossible to think of lives when the Carters were not immersed in Atlanta life, whether it's at restaurants or ball games or involved in charity events. They have been such a major part of life here. The thought of both of them now gone within the span of 13 months certainly is a reinforcement that mortality beckons all of us.
For sure. And then I always have, like, ever since we started covering this story, even with Rosalind, you know, when you think about a century of life and just all you were able to accomplish. And then, of course, what we're seeing here, you know, with the motorcade, with the lying in state, all former presidents, when they pass on, they have the same exact service right. It is the same program that we would follow and that we would see play out. However, for Carter, being the longest living president, and to have such a reputation that says, you know, there was like a 13-year-old girl that was out at the Carter Center, you know, just saying how much she learned about him in school, and that made her want to come and pay her respects. I think that is such a legacy to leave behind.
Well, I think even listening to, I don't know, I heard someone very young on cable television in the last few days describe him repeatedly as a peanut farmer. Well, yeah, sorta, kinda. But there's so many elements to his life. He's also a nuclear scientist. He's a humanitarian. He's a politician. He's a woodworker. He's a champion fly fisherman. There's so many elements to his life.
Yeah.
It's impossible to frame him as any one thing.
We are looking live here as the motorcade makes its way in front of the Georgia State Capitol, just really marking the moment in time of President Carter's service here to the state of Georgia as governor from 1971 to 1975 and state senator from 1963 until 1967, then going on to serve as the 39th president of the United States. Let's watch here as President Carter's son here comes out of the car to greet the crowd that has gathered there in front of the state capitol to welcome the Carter family here. There's going to be a moment of silence honoring his service as governor and state senator here. Dignitaries there, of course, will be Governor Brian Kemp. We will have Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones as they come here to greet the motorcade.